Yes. Welcome to our book reading challenge, day 39. Yeah, I guess. How are you doing? How was your day? Happy Tuesday. Wherever you are right now, all over the world, I just want to say hi and welcome to our book reading challenge. And we're still on the book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. Okay, so we've learnt a lot from this book. We've learned so much from this book, and we are on the chapter 9 of this book. We're on chapter 9. So I must say that I'm really glad. I'm really, I'm fortunate to have you guys. I'm so happy with the progress we've made so far. I mean, it's not easy, you know. You have to go to work, you have to go to school, come back, do so many things, and then you still get to spare, about 30 minutes or more or less just to be able to read a book. So I'm super proud of you. Okay. I'm also grateful for you guys to join me. Every day you're joining me in doing this. Without you guys encouraging me, without you guys coming online and being here with me, I don't know how we would get to this point. I mean, we are on the second book. Yeah. So, sometimes I feel like, oh, if we had started from January, maybe we'll be on our fourth book. But it's better late than never, right? So, I don't have any regrets with when we started. Okay, in as much as it's something that I wanted to do from January, but you know, when you have such plans, you get to procrastinate, you get to, overthink it and underthink it. So before you know it, time passes you by. So I think that's something we have to learn. Whenever you feel the urge, whenever you feel that desire to do something, okay, you can plan, you can prepare for it. But when you feel like you're ready, do not allow procrastination to, you know, steal that away from you. Okay. Yeah, because that's something, significant about procrastination. There's a difference between you planning and you preparing for something, and there's a difference between you delaying that thing to happen, to be manifested. Okay. Yeah. So we have to be careful, guys. You have to be careful. Okay. Learn from my mistake. All right. So here are some ideas what we're calling, from our previous chapter, which we studied yesterday. Now we're still, I don't know if the chapter 9 is all about healing. Okay, I think this will be the last chapter about healing. Okay, when we started like 3 chapters ago, we talked about, healing, starting from your subconscious mind. Okay, your subconscious mind has a huge role to play when it comes to healing. Okay, so if it's spiritual healing, if it's physical healing, if it's mental healing, it all starts from your subconscious mind. So how are you, how are you thinking about the ailment, the situation, the circumstance? What do you think about it? So the things which we've learned is, what you think is what you create. Okay, and there's another sentence also that I think it's great to also remember, which is, let me see if I can get it. It talks about imagination. What you imagine yourself, you are what you imagine yourself to be. Yeah, you are what you imagine yourself to be. So what do you imagine yourself to be? I just want to throw that question out there. Okay, so if you're the person who is, currently battling with some sort of illness, ailment, or someone who is, learning this, principles, or learning, getting to know these things, it is not just for you, it's for your loved ones, it's for, your friends, those around you whom would also gain from the information you're learning every day. Okay, so it starts with your mind. What do you think about, the problem you're having? Not just about healing, generally about problems. What do you think about them? So here are some ideas that we should take note of. When your mind is relaxed and you accept an idea, your subconscious goes to work to execute the idea. Okay, so first of all, do not make any decision when you're tired. Okay, do not make any decision when you're tired. If you feel overwhelmed, if you feel frustrated, if you feel tired, okay, worn out, burnt out, okay, have some time to relax. And that's what I feel like this book reading that challenge does. That's one of the perks, that's one of the advantages. I mean, whenever you are, it's just you and the book. You're with no distractions, no phones, no social person around you, nobody trying to disturb you, just you and your book. I feel like you get to relax, your brain gets to relax, and you're just focused on what you're reading. Okay, and you have to be focused on what you're reading in order for you not to think about any other thing. Okay, so what whenever you're tired, whenever you're frustrated, make sure you do not think about the problems you're having. Okay, whenever you feel worn out, you feel burnt out, do not make decisions at that moment. Okay, make sure that you divert your thinking, doing things that gives you pleasure, doing things that makes you happy. Okay, so right now, if I'm thinking about paying my tuition fees, I mean, it's something that's been worrying me for days, for weeks. Okay, if I want to be able to decide, make a good decision about it, I will have to, you know, divert my thinking, start, do some activity that will make me feel relaxed. Okay, when you're relaxed, you are able to make good decisions. Okay, when you're relaxed, you're able to make good decisions. Another point to make note of is do not be overly concerned with the beating of your heart, with the breathing of your lungs, or the functions of any part of your anatomy. Lean heavily upon your subconscious and proclaim frequently that divine right action is taking place. Okay, do not worry, do not fret. Okay, trust in God. Trust that God will, supply everything that you're in need of right now. Trust that God will, take action. Okay, and God is working everything out for your good. Now, another point is the feeling of health produces health. The feeling of wealth produces wealth. How do you feel? How do you feel right now? Are you feeling? Do you feel wealth? Do you feel healthy? Do you feel worthy? Okay, how do you feel? Imagination is your most powerful faculty. Imagine what is lovely and of good report. You are what you imagine yourself to be. Yes, you are what you imagine yourself to be. So what are you imagining, about the situation right now? Okay, that situation that keeps bothering you. What do you imagine about it? What do you think about it? Okay? So those are what we studied yesterday. So I feel like this chapter 9 is taking us in a whole new direction, but we are ready. So I'm gonna go off mic, and when I return, I'll share with you what I've learned, and just for us to have a heart discussion about the chapter. And we're still digging into the mysteries of the subconscious. So I'll talk to you soon. Wow, guys, I'm sold. I don't know if I use that phrase right. Okay, and that reminds me. Yesterday, I feel like I used a word wrong yesterday when I was speaking, and that was, I said hyphen instead of quotation marks. Yeah, I wanted to, I was trying to tell you guys about the testimony of someone who had Pott's disease, and I said, and I tried to spell it. I was like POTT hyphen S instead of quotation, single quotation mark S. So I remember that, and I looked it up, and I was like, wow, I was wrong. English is not how will I put it, first language, but I'm glad I was able to correct myself, and I'm correcting myself here. Okay, so yeah, so that's one thing with reading as well. It helps you build your vocabulary. Okay, yeah. So the work starts with you. All right, let's get to it. So this chapter is about wealth. It's about wealth. It's about getting rich. It's about, how to be able to, you know, prepare your mind, how to be able to build a mind that is channeled towards wealth, you know, build a wealthy mind. Yeah. So this chapter is about wealth. So, your mind, like we started, is your superpower. Your mind is a powerhouse. There's still so many uncovering the mysteries of the mind. There's so many things we've not yet discovered about the mind. Okay, so the mind, it has a lot, has a lot. Your mind can accommodate a lot. Okay, and that's only if you want to. Now, this chapter is about wealth and how you can be able to, have that mindset shift from negativity to positivity. Okay, so here are some points to take note of. When you're trying to accumulate wealth by the sweat of your brow and hard labor, is one way to be. Trying to accumulate wealth by the sweat of your brow and hard labor is one way to become the richest man in the graveyard. You do not have to strive or work or slave hard to accumulate wealth. Okay. Another point is repeat the word wealth to yourself slowly and quietly for about 5 minutes prior to sleep, and your subconscious will bring wealth to pass in your experience. Now, you might feel like, is this going to work? You thinking that, you doubting that already, you know, means you've already decided in your mind that it's not going to work, okay? So remember, we spoke about faith. So if you're speaking something, you cannot see it, you don't know what will happen. Remember Hebrews 11. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So you're not seeing it. So when you're on your bed and you're about to sleep and you're speaking the word wealth, 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 okay, you're saying it without any doubt, without any fear, before and after, or should I say before, during the process, and after. So if you're affirming wealth, 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 you keep repeating it over and over again. You keep, reciting it in your mind over and over again. You have to do it without any feeling of fear. Okay, so that's how your mind begins to accept. Your mind accepts the idea. Your mind brings that idea into reality. You begin to imagine it. And before you know it, your subconscious mind brings it into reality, brings it in your experience. The feeling of wealth produces wealth. Keep this in mind at all times. So how do you feel towards wealth? Okay, how do you feel towards those who have wealth? Do you envy them? Do you snub them? Do you criticize them? Okay, how do you feel towards those who have wealth? Because the feeling of wealth produces wealth. So do you have a negative feeling towards wealth? Do you have a positive feeling towards wealth? Okay, you have to keep this in mind at all times. Now, another point says you can overcome any mental conflicts regarding wealth by affirming frequently. By day and by night, I am being prospered in all of my interests. Okay, yeah, this is more practical, because you go into each day with various challenges, various, situations that might want to, you know, challenge, what the life you want to live. Okay, challenge your finances, challenge your growth, challenge your progress. Okay, so in order to overcome that mental conflict regarding wealth, you can say it in a way that, you know, is practical. By day and by night, I am being prospered. By day and by night, I'm being prospered in every of my interests. By day and by night, I'm being prospered. In my business, I am being prospered. In my education, I'm being prospered. You know, by day, by night, I am being prospered. Okay. So that one is much more practical. Now, another point is stop writing blank checks such as there is not enough to go around or there is shortage, etc. Such statements magnify and multiply your loss. Okay, so if you are someone who wants to have that mindset shift, from poverty to wealth, you need to also change your thinking. Okay, you have to reshape your thinking. So instead of always, whenever you've got a low shortage of food in the house, or someone close to you needs money for fees, tuition fees and all, you don't speak it like, oh, we don't have, we will never have, you know you don't speak it like that. That is what Dr. Joseph Murphy is trying to enlighten us, and this is me talking to myself as well. Yeah, do not be tempted into speaking like that, no matter how bad the situation is. Okay, remember remember the sentence we are supposed to learn. Okay, and this is going to be our mental exercise for tonight. By day and by night I am prospered. I am let me see, by day and by night I am being prospered in all of my interests. Okay, so when you've got shortages, or when you feel like things aren't really going the way you're supposed to, speak it in a positive light. Speak it and believe it. Speak it without any fear or doubts. Okay, because if you speak it into it negatively, it magnifies and multiplies your loss. Okay, remember when Jesus was presented with the 7 loaves and 2 fishes, what did he do? He thanked God. He said, God, thank you for this food. Thank you for this food. There were so many people in front of him, about 5,000, in front of him. And all he did was take the food and said, thank God. Not saying, oh, is this gonna be enough? We have thousands in front of us, and you're bringing just 7 loaves and 2 fishes. Is this gonna be enough? Is this what you guys can do? He didn't do that. He thanked God because he believed in his Father. He believed in the God, his Father, who is able to supply all our needs according to his riches and glory. So that's the faith. NK. That's the faith you have to carry. That's the belief you have to have. And no matter how small, it is, no matter how small it is presented to you, it can be multiplied only if you channel it in a positive light. So, opposite thoughts of prosperity, wealth, and success in your subconscious mind, and the latter will give you compound interest. Wow. So, from today onwards, let's begin to deposit thoughts of wealth. From today onwards, let's begin to deposit thoughts of prosperity, thoughts of success, 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 wealth, prosperity, success, wealth, prosperity. We don't know how it's going to happen. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know how it's going to happen, but we speak it forth. We speak it forth. Success, wealth, prosperity is my portion. Success, wealth, prosperity is my portion. Success, wealth, prosperity is my portion. Okay? Deposit thoughts of prosperity. Having so much that you are able to lend out to many. Deposit thoughts of donating, you being a philanthropist. Deposit thoughts of you feeding the homeless, feeding the orphans. Deposit thoughts of prosperity, thoughts of success, you helping people, to get back on their feet, you helping people to be able to build stores, you helping people to be able to make ends meet. Deposit those thoughts. You understand? Thoughts of prosperity, wealth, and success for subconscious mind. Another one is what you consciously affirm, you must not mentally deny a few moments later. This will neutralize the good you have affirmed. And this is something that's actually true, because the devil might want to test you. The devil might want to tempt you. So we have to be mentally strong, mentally prepared. By day and by night, I am being prospered in all of my interests. When you are affirming, that there is no shortage of food in my house, there is no shortage of money in my house. When you continue to affirm that, you have to mentally prepare that trials may come to shake that faith, to shake those affirmations off you. Okay, so God help us, God help us, God strengthen us. With this we have to pray. We have to pray that God strengthens us. God empowers us not to give in to those trial times, and to stand in faith, and to keep affirming. God help us. Your true source of wealth consists of the ideas in your mind. You can have an idea worth millions of dollars. Your subconscious will give you the idea you seek. Lastly, envy and jealousy are stumbling blocks to the flow of wealth. Rejoice in the prosperity of others. Okay? Envy and jealousy are stumbling blocks to the flow of wealth. I love that. Rejoice in the prosperity of others. I feel like this is something that we tend to do, particularly with the way social media is right now. People tend to flaunt their wealth. People tend to show how good they're living, and you get to hear people making comments criticizing, oh, what if this person is doing something illegal? I feel like this wealth is too, it feels off, it feels fishy. People begin to criticize it, and you tend to wonder, is this coming from a place of envy, jealousy, or like why do you have to question someone's wealth? I mean, the police are questioning them, so why are you questioning them? Okay, rejoice in the prosperity of others, even if at the end of the day it turns out that it did not come from a genuine source. Okay, so it shouldn't matter to you. Okay, yeah. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for doing this with me. I'm so I feel so fulfilled. I feel so happy, and I hope you are too. Thank you. Gracias. Mi amigos. Okay, so thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow. And please take care. God be with you. God bless you. And never forget, your mind is formidable. Bye.